Good evening, everybody. I want to welcome you here to the Prog Monster. My name is Murph. I am the host of this show. This is a show that is dedicated to progressive rock and other forms of rock music. Sorry. Getting my words mixed up there. Anyways, we're here to do an episode that we do on Saturday nights called What's New. I've chosen a band of course, What's New is an album that comes out during the year that we're currently in, which is 2025. The album I've chose for this year, for this episode, is called Cowards. It's by a kind of a techno pop kind of post-punk type band called Squid. So I'll give you the vital information on the band first, and then we'll talk about the songs. I've listened to the entire album a couple times now, actually. This was released February the 7th, 2025, full couple weeks now. It's been out for a couple weeks. It's 45 minutes in length. It's on the Warp label, and it's produced by Maria Solange, I think, Grace Banks, and Dan Carey. Okay, so appearing in the personnel for the album, of course, we have Squid, which is the band. Louis Borg. I'm going to put my glasses on for this because it's a little bit smaller than I thought. Borglass, guitar. Actually, now I can't see it at all. Borglass, bass, and guitar and bass and vocals as well. So he's the lead, not the lead vocalist, but he does do vocals. Ollie Judge, drums and lead vocals. Arthur Ledbetter, keyboards. Lori, I want to get this name right, Narcavel, bass, brass, and percussion. Anton Pearson on guitar, bass, vocals, and also on percussion. Additional musicians that appear on the album on various tracks. The Rusi Quartet, which is a string quartet, which features Alexandro Rusi, Venetia Jollands, sorry, I had it right the first time, Luby Tunnicliffe, and Max Rusi on cello. So the first three all play, or the first two play violin, then we have a viola, and then a cello. Also appearing with the band is Zans Duggan, additional percussion. Rosa Brooke, additional voices. Tony Nojku, I think is how you pronounce it, additional voices. Clarissa Conley on additional voices as well, and Chris Dowdy on fledgelhorn, which may be the instrument that I thought it was a trumpet. That could possibly be it. So anyways, that is the statistics on the band or on the album. Now the music of this album. So the album is called Cowards, as I've already stated. The band is called Squid. And I need a drink. So there are basically 9 tracks on here. 9 tracks on the album. Most of them fall within the 2, 3, 4 range, as high as 5, and then you got a couple songs that are over that, one in the 6s, one in the 8s. So the opening track is called Crispy Skin. It should tell you all you need to know about these guys. This is kind of a punky like techno pop like song. Vocals, which you're going to find are common on this album, are a little bit on the husky like side, but they're usually very quiet, not so easily. You got to turn it up a bit to really hear what he's saying. And there's this particular song, kind of dominated by piano, I think. Next up, we have Building 650. Sorry, I'm going to need another drink here. Building 650 is a very heavy, bitey kind of track with some rough vocal sounds throughout it. Kind of dominated by keyboards and guitar parts. Pretty straight. It's a little bit on the punky side, this track. Then we have the next track, which is called Blood on the Boulder. This is a slow, melodic, but somber type track. Some acoustic guitar here. The vocals are very kind of rough but quiet. It does speed up and gets heavier, more punk-like as the song goes along. Next up is Fireworks 1. It opens with a kind of a subdued feeling to it, with a kind of a husky sound to the voice as well. It does build up quite a bit more synthesizers towards the back half of the song. Not really a totally distinguishable song. Like, it's not terribly memorable, I guess is a word to put it, but it's interesting. All their music is interesting, if nothing else. Fireworks 2, quite a bit more rhythmatic. A kind of a stick-like beat where you hear these people banging sticks together and stuff like that. There's kind of that percussionist sound, I guess maybe you might want to call it, with a quiet guitar bit that kind of accompanies it. Then you have these vocals that are a little bit more mild, but still got that husky feel to them. And then it does pick up pace, and the sound gets heavier as the track goes along. Most of that build-up is keyboard and synthesizer parts, but there are some other stuff going on as well. Lots of kind of weird noises. Next song, one of the two or three that I think is really good. Cro-Magnon Man. This is slow, melodic bass key parts. Then you've got his vocals, which are a little bit more moderate, a little deeper in sound than some of his other tracks. And it's just a little bit, if it came out during the early 80s, I'd say it's kind of got that new wave-ish feel to it as well. Background vocals sound very raw, like there's no kind of smoothing over of it or production kind of thing of it. It's just people singing. I did like this track quite a bit. Next up is called Cowards. That's the title track. It's quiet with some background synthesizers. The vocals are kind of a little bit more whispery and not as clear as some of the other stuff. It does build up with a synthesizer guitar part as the song goes along. It's just okay, though. The next track's another track I like quite a bit. It's called Showtime. It's kind of a bit more heavy, melodic pop. Almost got like a rap feel to it at points. There's no rapping, but it kind of feels like that. It's got a kind of a scrapey guitar bit, like somebody is holding the frets down and scraping along without actually allowing, like maybe right on the bar, so you're getting the scraping sound and not really what's in the noise that the fret would make. Vocals are new wave-ish again, kind of moderate, nothing too outstanding. And you get these kind of quirky synthesizer noises towards the end, and it speeds up. It keeps getting a little bit faster. You can hear it almost like cranking up a bit. And it's kind of out of tune a bit as well. And it gets a little bit heavier, but I do like this track quite a bit. The last track on the album, Wet Met, Fingers Through the Fence, which is the title of the song. It's the longest track on the album. I also think it is also the best track on the album. It proceeds from odd noises at the beginning, and then the guitar and makes a kind of a picky noises, and it like it's being played in an echo chamber or in a room with metal walls or something like that. It's got a little bit of a weird feel to it. There are some horn noises as well on this, so I'm assuming that must be the horns that I talked about earlier, because I didn't see anything for trumpet anywhere. The vocals are husky for the males, and then there's also a female lead vocal, so they kind of sing together here. This is the only song like that. Hers is more of a medium high pitch song, more clear than his is. The male vocals are. The song becomes clearer as it goes along. It kind of clears up a bit. You can hear them a little bit more clearer as they go along. The twin vocaling, lots of guitars. There's a kind of I thought it was a trumpet, but it's probably that horn that I talked about, and in parts here. And then it ends up, it drops back down. It becomes a little bit more quieter of a tune towards the end. So it's actually the most interesting song on there. I don't mind these guys. I think this could grow on me if I played it more. I definitely think that it's worth listening to some more. So I'll look into it. If it's something I can find for a reasonable price, I probably would buy it. I'm not going to go looking for it, but if I happen to notice it, I definitely would be interested. This band actually has a couple of other albums too, but they've been around since 2021, so they're a fairly new band. I like to give new bands a chance, and I think these guys did pretty good with this particular album. I haven't heard their other ones yet. So please hit the like and subscribe and the notification bell. And if you want to make comments on the band Squid, or if you had a chance to listen to the album Cowards, you can put that in there as well. The other thing I didn't mention is that on the album it's some fingers holding what looks like a scorpion stinger at the end, like the tail of a scorpion. So if you look up and you see that, then you know that you've hit the right album. Anyways, I hope to see you all next week for another episode of What's New. And take care and have yourself a good evening. And goodbye.